Hi, this is Herb from Jackson Graphics and Big Twin Life, and I'd like to talk to you today about using lasers to align your DTF. So let's talk about the setup we have right here today. First of all, we have a 16 by 20 slide out heat press, and I have attached to it a green cross laser. You could buy these on Amazon for anywhere between $19 and $50, and they can come with a little mount. I actually 3D printed an extension on mine to get this one out towards the end so it would shine down onto this. And you know, if you have a 3D printer, you can do that, or you can have someone make one of these out of wood, because this doesn't get hot up here, and attach that to it if you want. Either way, you can do something like that, and it just has a crosshair that you can adjust. You undo these screws and you can move that around. Now there's another thing that's come out on the market recently, and these are actually kind of cool. They have a magnetic base and a flexible arm, and it's got the cross lasers in there again. And the idea behind these are you plug it in somewhere. Right now I just have this plugged in below, but you'd want to do better cable management than this. But you'd want to get this set up maybe like right here, and then do I have it on? Nope, turned it off. Okay, so then you would adjust this wherever you want it. Let me flip this one off just to get that clear. But you can set this up any way you want it. So let me get the garment on there. And the first thing about getting things straight is to make sure your garment is straight. And I usually use the seams as my guide to make sure they're the same on both sides. That way I'm not messing something up and getting something crooked. And on a shirt, I typically want to go from up here, and I want to align my collar there. I don't know where I put my flat edge, but usually for me, if I put my collar right there, from the bottom of the collar about 2.5 inches down is where I would usually want my image placed. So let me just move the top of this transfer right there just to give my laser somewhere to home to. Okay. Now, I'm going to be real with you here. With that setup like that, that's not going to work. So you're going to need to pick it up so that it doesn't get trapped when you put the lid down, and still enable you to put the crosshairs where you need it to go. Now you're going to have to do some measuring. Like this is 16, so you're going to have to make sure that your center line is at 8, and usually you can twist these like this. And so now you've got your center line. You just kind of move your laser until it starts to line up where you want it. And I usually will go back and make sure that it's square horizontally. 2.5, 2.5. And the reason for that is because that is really what your eye is going to pick up. As long as you've got this thing in the center at that point, it doesn't really matter if that line is twisted. You need to make sure that line is straight across horizontal. And once you have that set, then when you lay your image down, it's just a matter of lining it up. So 2.5 inches down from the bottom of the collar, and you can always take your transfer and kind of figure out where the middle point is and do a little crease there, and you line that crease up with your center mark, and then you use your judgment on what is the best place to line it up at what you consider the top. Some graphics like this, where it has a border that's around the main graphic, sometimes I'll bump it up to that point, and that'll be where I would consider my top, because most of the graphic is below those lines. Those are just two little pieces that are sticking up, so I'm going to use that right there. And again, make sure your crease lines up to your center, and that's all there is to it. And you just press it and peel it and do all the stuff you normally do. And when you go to, say, a design that's going to go on the chest, and so say that you want one on the chest, okay? I still use 2.5 inches down. The only difference is, and I'll pull this up to show you and get this shirt centered. what I'll do is this becomes my center line, the side of the collar. And so I'll slide that, and a lot of times what you'll want to do is actually move your laser if you're trying to do that, because if you don't do that, then your crosshairs being on the sides, or let me explain that better. If this was over here and I try to push the image over, it gets skewed. You can already see it skewing as I do that. So you kind of want to keep it on the center line of where it's supposed to go. And like I said, I want it to go on where the edge of that collar is. So I'm going to slide that. This thing sticks really good. So I'm going to slide that laser over until it gets to that point. That's where I want it. And then again, I want to get that crease up there, make sure my shirt is centered. And again, I want to be 2.5 inches down. So I'm going to kind of let my ruler here, my tape measure, kind of be my alignment for the vertical. But then I want to get this up here at 2.5. And once you get that set, again, I'm going to put my finger right there because I want to get that horizontal more straight than anything. You might have to move things around a little bit to get things measured off. Okay, so that's a little bit off. So let's try twisting first. Okay, and I know now I've got to go up a little bit. 2.5, 2.5. And this line's lined up with the edge of the seam on the collar. So now I know that is the center line of my chest graphic, and I'll pinch that to find that and line it up like so, and then press it. So that's how you use lasers to help you align your DTF.